what up? My name is Shining Armor, and we back at the wrap up. Where you been? If you saw last week, we got some heat for you now. If you didn't know what the wrap up is about, just so I let you know, we're bringing you the hottest interviews. We're bringing you the hottest music. We're bringing you the hottest blunts. We're bringing you conversations for days, man. Like, we're just going to be chilling and vibing. If you know a good artist out there who wants to come chill with us, hit us up. You know, it is what it is. But today, we got a special guest for y'all. We got BGIRL Sindy. We got my man's Fez on the other side. Man, who's... Man, I get a footage. I get a little swag. Give footage, you know. Let's enjoy the show, man. It's about to go down. They not ready, Fez.
They were never ready.
They not ready, Fez.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, I spent on you see. Yeah, but you know, if we're talking about breakdancing in South Africa, talking about breakdancing La S1E2, we're talking this lovely lady that we're going to introduce you to. So, take a moment. Abaphethe izinto zabo, you know, some of this, some of that.
You make me want to roll.
Get your drink up, and let's start this whole show. So, we introduce to you BGIRL Sindy. Sindy.
How you doing, Mr. Fez?
I'm all good.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah. Last time I saw you, you were doing some amazing things, touring with a few brands. Not sure if you can mention that until they pay us, you know. So I've seen you doing a couple of things, and I would have thought, hey, she's gonna break dance. But then I saw you doing, you know, popping, locking, and a little bit of that. I would call it bourgeois. Or was it piano dance? So in my head, I'm thinking, well, Sindy, you know, how versatile is she, and like, where does it date back to?
Okay, firstly, thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you for the awesome introduction.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
No one can say no to Siso Mukhelanje.
I didn't even
Nobody should.
I didn't even think she b-boys or breakdances when she rocked up.
Well, that's the idea. That's the idea. I shouldn't show up and then you expect that I'm about to break it down. I should show up and you expect that, you know what a pretty hun, until I'm on the floor and you're like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Anyways,
what's up?
So back to your question, Fizile. Well, obviously the foundation began with breakdance. I started dancing when I was in high school. But before this happened, I was pretty much into art my entire life. I don't think I can remember a day whereby I didn't do anything that was inspired by art. So from your skating to your poetry to your singing to a bit of rapping, please don't ask me to do that because I don't know.
Whoa, we're actually
But I pretty much did everything, and everything led me to the one thing that I am now completely passionate about, which is dance. And I honestly feel like the reason why I'm able to do different dance styles is because I am just gifted, and I'm a black sister.
Yay.
You know what I mean? It's just within our blood, guys.
Yay.
Black power.
Hey, you know. But definitely, b-boying is everything for me. I feel like I wouldn't be the human being that I am now if it wasn't for breakdance.
For real?
Yeah.
Like, what sparked the interest? What made you say I want to be a b-boy? I want to do that.
Okay, firstly, not a b-boy.
B-girl.
B-girl.
My bad.
Thank you very much.
My bad.
I feel like I have all the features of a hun.
Oh,
anyways, so the reason why I got into breakdancing specifically was because somebody challenged me actually. Like, I bet you can't do that. And I was like, really?
Oh, okay.
I'm about to show you that I can. So I love challenges. I love taking on things that I knew. I love going above and beyond whatever it is that people would expect from me.
Sure.
And for me, that on its own, just that person saying that, I won't mention who it is and I won't mention how it happened, whatever the case is, but that on its own happening was like, okay, you know what? Here's an opportunity for me to do something different, prove a point, and make myself proud to some extent. You know what I mean? Because if I can do this the way I think I can, then it's an achievement of some sort. And it pretty much did that for me. You know, I stood out. I think that's what I wanted. Yes, actually. It's not a hard time.
What
I wanted
year
to
is
stand
this?
out.
How long ago is this?
This was, I was 17.
17.
Oh,
It's 17 years old.
you've
But
been b-boying since
most
17?
girls at
Yeah.
17 are thinking about, you know, first boyfriend, first this.
Yeah,
and
I was
that.
not.
How did it happen that you at
I was
17?
Right. At 17, I was thinking I want to be the most different young girl from Soweto. I want to do something that is going to inspire young women out there. I want to pretty much hold a torch for Sowetans and specifically for female Sowetans.
Okay.
But initially, when the whole thing came on to me, I don't know, man. I think I took it on because I really just wanted to prove a point. But as soon as I was in it and I was within the whole thing and I was understanding the art, how it works and so on and so forth, I kind of felt like a female from Soweto who break dances out there doing this is definitely going to be something that's inspiring for most young girls in
very
Soweto.
inspiring.
So, you know, because the thing is, we are always told you can't do this and you can't do that. And I had to learn how to walk on my hands, spin on my head, do freezes, do this, do that, at an age whereby, you know, I think the assumption is even that you're too old
Oh, yeah.
to start something like that at that age. You know, like,
Sure.
what do you mean? No. You know, our parents are obviously like, no, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
no, honey. But, you know, I had to prove
True.
it to them
Yeah.
that, you know what, I want to do this and I know that I can do this. And with a lot of training, and I swear, it took an entire year of training for me to get myself to a point where I could go in and even battle, because I've done a couple of those as well. And I've done so many other things as well. I've toured internationally.
I was about to ask.
I've been to Europe. I've been to specific African countries, and I've basically been all over South Africa.
B-boy
wait a minute.
all over the world.
You were dancing all over the world. And
Yeah.
specifically coming from South
Well,
Africa.
coming from
Soweto,
Soweto, South Africa,
How's-
Soweto, right?
Yeah.
Soweto being the main thing right now, just because we don't really have much of that, especially in Soweto. So yes, I've been to parts of Europe. Haven't been to all parts of the world. That's obviously a wish of mine. I've been there. I've been to parts of Africa, and yes, I've been there as a break dancer. For SA though, I've been to specific places in South Africa, but mostly also as a person who's doing professional work, you know, because
Yeah.
unfortunately in the dance industry, guys, you have to have like more than one plan.
Oh,
You know what I mean? You
got
guys have more than one plan.
I thought I shake my booty out and make it
thought
everywhere in the
was
world.
bad. Is
That's
that
the
bad?
thing. That's the thing. I feel like I'd rather let my brains do the shaking than my booty.
Yeah.
So I apply that stuff,
Okay.
and with my body, I'd rather break dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
The shaking of the booty would leave that to the people who can
How
do
is
that
the
stuff.
whole industry right now?
Yeah,
Look-
With everything
and
going
what
on.
I'm thinking about is the state of breakdance in terms of Soweto and compared to other parts of our country and
Yes,
globally.
yes,
Like
yes.
when you were touring, what did you come across and what
Oh
did
my
you see?
God.
Yeah,
So firstly, the culture in Europe
yeah.
is so amazing. Like, hey man, I don't know what we're doing here, but what they're doing there is
Yeah.
certainly way more than what we're doing here. You know,
Sure.
there's a lot in terms of initiatives that have been put in place. In terms of specifically breakdance, you know, there's quite a lot that Europeans do to feed the hip hop culture, to feed the dance culture, to
Yeah.
feed the breakdancing culture as well. Because I mean, when I was that side, you'd come across a lot of girls who break dance. Whereas this side, hey, you're lucky if there's three of us. If there's three or four of us, you're lucky, you know.
Yeah.
And currently, right now, I mean, I'm gonna have to give shout outs to this amazing young woman who's currently representing breakdancing in an amazing way, and her name is Courtney Paul, and she's currently really holding the torch, and she's doing great things, as I said before. And obviously now it's a thing of when she's out there, she's probably her and two other hands, you know.
Yeah.
And that's it, and that's where the state of breakdancing is currently here in the country. Specifically with the girls. With B-boys,
It's a bit better.
it's a bit better.
We've
but-
seen a
but-
one or
but,
two, yeah.
You know, it's not as good as it was I think maybe to 2015, 2016, 2017. No, 2010. Sorry. You better cut that. Anyways, so from 2009, 2010, 11,
Yeah.
12, that's when the culture was sort of like
Big.
huge.
Yeah.
In the dance industry for us, specifically b-boys and b-girls. It has since deteriorated.
But looking at shows, or should I say events like BC1, you would think that every year they're getting better and better, and obviously they're including different styles.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the fraternity of breakdance? Because in my hip hop space, it's like the BC ones are what's gonna bring it, and we all go there to watch breakdancing.
And it still happens. I mean, this year we had EPC one, the qualifiers. We had qualifiers for Cape Town, we had qualifiers for PE, for Johannesburg, and we had people winning. We've got Benny who's representing South Africa, going to France, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think about that one. I don't think it's France. But yes, we've got a couple of people that went to BC1 and won, and are currently they basically gonna represent the country overseas, and I mean, there is a bit of initiative, especially with Red Bull.
Sure.
Red Bull is doing some stuff, but honestly speaking, there was a time when B-Boy Bashi was doing a show, or not a show, but doing something that has to do with B-Boys. There was a time when Laba was doing something for B-Boys, B-Boy 80B doing something for B-Boys. You know what I mean? A lot of people had different initiatives to say, guys, here's an event, come through, showcase your skills. Let's come together. Let's showcase where we are within our skills, and let's better that. But that on its own has gone down. You know, currently right now.
What would you think is the reason for that? Because obviously hip hop has taken up in a big way in the past couple of years, with a number of artists coming in doing big songs. Just like a year ago, where Big Zulu had like huge, amazing song. That for me, because breakdance falls under hip hop, it would be like, okay, hip hop is actually growing. So now looking at breakdance, and you telling me that it's slowly on a decline.
It's a bit of,
Now my thing is, what do you think is the cause of that decline?
You know what? In any industry, your industry needs to have the capacity to feed you. I believe.
Yeah.
If the industry that you serve has the capacity to feed you, but the capacity is not so much that you are able to buy a house, you sustain yourself and all of that, then it's going to be very difficult for you to fully invest yourself in it. And that has been the biggest challenge. Let me just speak about myself, you know, specifically for me, a young girl from Soweto, coming from a specific type of a family. I need to make a living. You know, I need to make a living. I need to find different ways and have different sources of income. And unfortunately, that becomes the biggest challenge, you know, and it makes it even harder to say, okay, let me put some time aside and say I'm going to train people or whatever the case is, because also having to have people pay for that is something else. Like I could do it. I could say, yo, Sowetan's, come through. Let me teach you how to break dance. 100 Rand a class. Then it's a problem.
I'm in.
You know what I mean?
The rest of you should be.
I'm just saying.
So the problem is when you price.
You always have to price it.
Yeah.
You always gotta price it.
Okay. Do you think? Are you thinking in your own head with, if I price it, they won't come?
No, I know.
You know.
Because I've tried it.
Oh, more than once?
No.
I'm guessing Shiny Nama and I should join the classes.
Yeah, I know.
I've literally tried it out, guys. Like, I mean, and it's not just me, it's also just everybody else that's in it right now trying to say, let me see what I can do. Look, this is not me saying that it's something that isn't being done or it's failing everywhere, whatever the case is. It's not. There's other people out there who probably have their own initiatives that work, and they are putting stuff in place, and people are being taught and so on and so forth. But again, the industry that you serve needs to serve you back.
True.
And that's the biggest problem, is that we are currently here putting in so much work in terms of showing up and then training and doing this and doing that, and after all the training, after all of everything that you do, you get a certain amount back, you know what I mean? Then it's a problem. Like, oh, what am I doing this for exactly? So until that stage, man, until we get to that point whereby, you know, you can recognize dance as well as you can recognize acting, as well as you can recognize singing and rapping or whatever, then honestly it's not going to be easy for the industry to grow as much as we want it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It will always be.
Because what I've seen with dancers, not only break dancers or hip hop dancers, is I see they just be the background to an artist.
Yes.
So whenever a big artist is coming, you guys are going to be at the back.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once or twice, like what you call it?
Soweto's Finest.
Soweto's Finest.
Yeah.
I've seen them come out and be the artists and be the dancers, and it was like, okay, we understand where it's coming from. Now, looking at the industry, and I'm trying to focus on you as a young black girl from Soweto. What are the struggles? I'm talking media, I'm talking about the whole musical side of the industry. What are the struggles you come across? The other thing I'm looking at is, as pretty as you are, you know, people look at you and like, can she even do anything? so what are the struggles that you come across, you know?
I mean, look, I feel like exactly what you just said. When you show up at a place, the expectation is that she's a hun. What can she do? I mean, you know what I mean? She can't tell us this or she can't tell us that or whatever the case is. Me, I go through a lot of challenges, especially the pretty thing. It's a big problem, guys.
You are a problem. You are
It's a big problem, guys. Oh gosh, because there's things exactly. There's little things like that we deal with. Whereby you find yourself, you know what? I'm here in this situation, and I want to serve the situation in this way. And you find yourself being faced with the challenge of, no, but the people you're trying to do these things with are not really interested in doing what you want to do. So now it goes from, yes, we are here to do that, but actually I want this, and, you know, can you give me some of that? And
slide in your DM.
you know what I mean? Nah, I'm not really about that, you know? So, I mean, obviously that's the background stuff nobody gets to hear about. That's the background stuff nobody gets to see. That's the background stuff that we can't even really talk about because it never really ends that well for you.
As in you get barred if you do?
Anything can happen. It's the industry. If you're not in control of it, it's in control of you. And pretty much if you're going to put stuff out there, you're going to need to be able to really back it up.
Back it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to go into detail. I won't even talk about it to that extent. It must be some it's a huge challenge for most female artists. And I think it just goes across board, across everything. You know, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, we all have our different challenges. We all have our ways of dealing with them as well. But that doesn't mean that it gets easier. You just find ways to kind of deal with it, I suppose, you know. It's just a thing of, okay, fine, Sindy, who are you? What do you want? How do you want to be remembered? If you do this, what would it mean for your name? You know, so those are the things that I had to take into consideration. And I had to take a step back, especially from dance and just the industry as a whole. Because there's too much that I can't really say, but it happens, you know, you're thinking to yourself, I'm one step ahead, I'm finally there, I'm about to make it, and then
all of a Sunday,
so I mean, I've had to make decisions that took me completely out of the limelight that I think I was almost on.
Yeah.
And it was bad for me, you know, in a sense that I kind of feel like I feel like Soweto still needs to see a B-girl Sindy.
Sure.
Even if it's not me.
Yeah.
They need to see a female B-girl come out of Soweto and represent and hold a bar and all of that. And at a point when I was most likely able to do that, you know, like I think the ability at that time was just that much.
Yeah.
It was taken from me from because of all of these things, you know, all of these little things that you don't see, that nobody sees, that I see, that I go through, you know, like, oh no, actually you're not good enough. Oh wow, okay.
It just reminds me of Naomi Saka. I remember she was on TV saying she can't do interviews because of obviously being a tennis player. You need to be there and represent one of the best in the world. She just goes, look, her mental health is far more important because of the things she's dealing with. And Ronarmajans, we just go like, oh, but what? We just want to be famous. But looking at it and seeing, as a female, it could take a toll on you because
really
you
does.
deal with more than just the fame. There's guys behind the camera. They're going, I can make you. So, a sense, you being you and me knowing you a bit, you've also competed with guys. I've watched you break dance with guys, and I was like, she's not one of the guys here. What's going on? What level of difficulty is it when you go up against a guy versus a female?
I don't see an opponent as a guy or a female. An opponent is an opponent.
Stars,
I think when I go into a dance floor and I'm about to compete, I am literally just looking at a competitor. I don't see gender. It's whatever. I put up my best. I put up my best. That's pretty much it, Hey man, you're taking me back. Yeah.
Let's go back. We're unwrapping this. It's a wrap up.
No, it's
Wrap the
just
whole
a
thing.
part of me feels sad because I feel like if I didn't go through these little things that sort of just took me out of this whole thing completely, man, I think about how far would I be now? Just in terms of the level of skill and all of that. But honestly speaking, man, when you're faced with somebody, they show what they have, you show what you have.
Sure.
That's it.
Bring it.
Yeah. That's what it is. And I kind of, at a time when I was really competing a lot, I remember I even did a couple of dance shows, like TV shows. And I obviously did competitions here, Cape Town. And, just being there.
Yeah.
And knowing good now I'm about to go on and I'm about to show who I am, that thrill is just amazing.
Sure.
It's the best thing ever, and I feel like it's the one thing that would contribute to you as a dancer also kind of doing better, because there's things you do and you're like, whoa, did I just do that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. Oh wow.
Like,
yeah. I can imagine you're a beatboxer and you're there and you're beatboxing and you just come up with something and you're like, wait, was that me? Did I just do that? Really, guys, you know what I mean? So that happens also in a situation whereby you're competing with somebody because something in you, I don't know, I don't know, man. I can't describe it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like that other person is bringing out something in you that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah.
Until you're like there. Amazing. Yeah.
Now, besides breakdancing, which we all know you for, right? We want to get to know Sindy behind the breakdancing. So we know that you took some time out and said, like, look, all the pressures, or everything happening is just a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So what does she do if she's not on stage breakdancing or practicing? So who's Sindy? What do you do behind the breakdancing?
Man, Sindy is an ambitious, she is an inspiring, she is a driven young woman who simply just has the ability to do whatever she wants. Like I believe that I put my mind to anything that I want to do. So I do a bit of camera work, I do a bit of videography, I do a bit of photography, I do a bit of modeling, I do a bit of singing. I am currently a talent coordinator for a company. I also do brand activations, coordination as well. I'm a consultant for different agencies, and I'm currently running a campaign, a national campaign. It's an amazing campaign, actually.
The CV is huge, right? That's a huge CV.
I've worked with big brands such as Kit Kat, Nestle. I've worked with Coca-Cola. I've done video work for them. I've done video work for Johnny Walker Black Label. These are just for obviously campaigns, you know what I mean, like your below the line marketing. So I've done those things. I do TV ads. I'm dabbling a bit with voiceovers as well, you know, like which is you know. I've recorded some songs. I mean, there's pretty much a lot to me.
You see?
Don't start.
Oh yeah.
She said
Don't start.
can I like drop a beat?
No.
And then you can just freestyle something nice.
Just sing
something
Oh
something.
my gosh.
Anything.
I wouldn't know what to say.
Anything. Even if you go, hey, nyavuka namhlanje.
Like seriously, ngiyavuka namhlanje.
Anything nice.
Ngiyavuka namhlanje. That's what he said.
Anything that catches your mind.
Let me see if I can think of something.
Yeah.
You guys are
This
putting
is
me on
art,
the
man.
spot.
This
Yes.
is what art is about. You know, creative. It's random. It's right now.
Yeah. I am here, yeah. I am here. I am here. Yeah. Yeah. It's the wrap-up show. It's the wrap-up show.
It's the wrap-up show.
It's the wrap-up show. Hey. Oh, guys, no.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
That's
You
Woo,
know?
my heart is pounding.
Oh yeah, that's adrenaline. Oh man, you
Beautiful. That's
you
beautiful.
got an album out. You got. What
No, I ain't got nothing out. Again, the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing, you're going to say, yeah, I'll do this for you, but do that for me has been the issue. But anyways, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I go through that quite a lot.
I didn't think you were gonna do it, but then you did it. Thank you for that.
If you should have said that before,
Thank
then I
you.
wouldn't have done it.
Thank you.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Thank
hearing
you.
that you do so much, Markonde one ngayizwanga, no? Angakazi ukuthi uyapheka, yazi. You know, I do this, that, and ngiyapheka.
But not professionally, guys. I mean, obviously I
professional.
can cook. I can cook. Definitely.
What are some of your favorite meals?
I love seafood quite a lot. I wish I knew how to make it.
I want to
love
make
it.
Tina, we've got a seafood diet, you know? Seafood diet. Yes.
I love food from the ocean. Guys. I love my
That's a good
prawns. I love my fish. I love seafood a lot, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like even the old meals that you get from home,
Yeah.
rice with gravy and your spinach and your cabbage. Man, that does a lot for me. Like when I have a meal like that,
Home-cooked
it just reminds me of home. Yeah, just mashed potatoes and your beetroot.
Okay.
You know the 7 colors. You know the 7 colors that you normally get on a Sunday. Yeah, on a Sunday. You get it on a Sunday or on a special occasion like Christmas or whatever.
Birthday.
I actually really enjoy meals like that
Sure.
because of just the nostalgia that it comes with. Like, oh, I just miss home now type thing.
So my thing is for everybody at home who's watching right now and wants to see you firstly dance and also want to cook with you. Because
with
ngiyabona ukuthi I want to know I'm several colors.
Cooking with big girls.
So where can they get in touch with you and cook with you?
Cook with me. I don't know about cooking with me.
The rest.
I don't know about cooking with me, but you can certainly invite me, guys. I'm available. So I mean, I don't want to lie to you. I haven't been that big on social media. Again, it's because of the fact that I've had to move from that side of the world to that side of the world, which is slightly more corporate. But I mean, I'm on Instagram. I'm Sindy_Mbanja. You can find me on Facebook. I think there I'm still BGIRL Cindy Mbanja, but yeah.
Haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, guys, and I'm so sorry about that, but like, I mean, yeah.
They want to know slightly.
Are you single?
Getting mshato.
Am I single?
You know.
Amachita keep
Oh,
on my
wow.
phone. Sanborn, Sanborn.
I
Who's got their
mean,
phones out,
I'm at a point in my life right now whereby the most important thing is just self-development.
Yeah.
It's self-knowledge. It's having inner peace a bit. There's too much of that white noise that you spoke about that we're dealing with right now. There's too much nonsense. There's COVID. There's looting. The newest edition. There's,
Among looty, there's
so much going on right now in our world that I feel like it's actually an important time for all of us to sort of just reflect and feed our souls more than anything else, feed the good in us more than anything else. Not to say that this doesn't happen if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but for me personally, it just feels like a time whereby I need to be on my own and just go within myself and understand myself, because when you understand yourself, the world can't control you.
Yeah.
And we're living in the times whereby situations will always want to control you.
Sure.
And I don't want to be controlled by situations. I
Situation?
wanna.
Now, situation or not, what's your take on love?
I think love is beautiful. I think that when it's true, when it's real, when it's reciprocated, when it's unconditional to some extent, because I know that's just asking for a lot these days, but to some extent, when it's unconditional, it's actually the most amazing thing you can have, you know. But it always has to begin with you. If you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love the next person? Is a very important question. So it always has to start with you. If you can't exude that, honestly, all you're gonna do is just bring horror into someone else's life, and I'd rather not be that person, and I'd rather not have that even within my world as well. But yeah, man, love is amazing.
So since the rest of our crew have got their phones out now, what do you look for in a guy? Not to say that there's a specific. I'm a number chance. Like, and you at home, my ears are my number.
Small.
What do you look for just to see does anyone fit the criteria here?
You're putting me on the spot again. Oh wow, what do I look for? Hey man, yeah. Should I be honest or should I just
100%
not be honest? Look, oh man, I feel like when you grow as individuals, you grow into a person that realizes what you want in the next person, and initially you also sort of work on being that within yourself as well. So what I put out is what I want to get from my partner. What I look for is honesty more than anything else. Honesty in a sense that even if you're an ass, just be honest in that. I'm an ass.
It sucks when somebody...
Just put that out. You know what I mean? Put that out there. This is who I am.
That you said you were what?
Jay, we are better. We are better. Who better? Well, better so. In between, like, oh wow, it's 2 months later, and then all of a sudden, I'll go to Jay type thing. That's not cool. So be honest in the kind of person that you are. I'm a very outgoing person. I love visiting places. I love traveling. I love trying out new things. I believe in self-progression. And I believe that the person that I'd like to be with, I'd love actually for the person that I will meet, hopefully one day, to sort of have the same qualities as well, and
she's single.
To to be, you know, to allow life to inspire them as much as I allow life to inspire me. You know, there's so much more to it, but it would be unfair to ask for specific things, you know, because we live in a very imperfect world. So there's things I'm not going to mention right now. But the most important thing is just being genuine in your emotions, being open-minded, being allowing yourself to live life fully, allowing yourself to be happy in this life that you're currently in right now, and to progress as an individual. You know, you can't look like you looked 10 years ago, for instance. And this is not even me being judgmental. This is not me trying to say that, you know, I'm throwing shade at guys that want to have lost heart at the age of 50. That's your business, you know. But you know, that's your business. That's your life, and someone is gonna love that. But for me as an individual, this is what matters to me. You know, this is what, because as me myself, I've pretty much grew.
So now everybody Nzwile ukuthi she's single firstly.
And
also, she dropped her Instagram, she dropped her Facebook, she dropped everything. So you can at least yabona mangabe yabona ukuthi ngithandile like I.
And look at people something. Something.
Yeah. So that's it from us. Shining Armor and I will have to find you someone else. Because intermediations is we gotta leave this place, right? Mm-hmm. But before we leave this place, one last thing I want to just say to you is I've seen you, I've watched you grow, I've watched you do quite a lot, right? But within that, I want you to tell every one of these young girls out there, Uguti, what should they do, or just a message for them to go, this is where we're at, and this is what we need to do in order for us to be all right. I don't want to say successful, but for us to be okay.
Firstly, you it's hard to make it with one source of income in this world right now, but that's not the message. That's just a side note. Just be that person. Just keep that in mind. The message behind me being a BGIRL is that you can do anything you want. Being black, being from Soweto, coming from an environment that is built within limitations doesn't mean that you're limited. You can pretty much break free from all of that and be whatever you want to be. I took that on. I took on that entire thing on my own, and I said, I want to be a breakdancer, a female breakdancer from Soweto, and I want to go out there and I want to showcase that, and I'm going to go up against anybody that is brought in front of me, and I'm going to prove myself, and I'm going to show people that, you know what, I can do it, irregardless of the challenges that I had to face. In that moment, I realized that as a young black woman, there's nothing I can't do. It's just a matter of putting your mind to it and applying yourself to what you want. So no excuses. Don't put excuses in between yourself and what you want. Yes, difficult times are there, but find a way to always break free from it. It's your life. That's all I'm going to say. It's your life. You need to live your life to the fullest. You need to live your life to the best. Your life is not about another person's opinion. It's not about another person's feelings. It's not about another person's thoughts. Those things will always be there. What do you think of yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? When you look in the mirror, what are you working towards with regards to the individual that you're trying to be? The next person that speaks about you, what you want them to say, is what keeps me going on a daily basis. And that's what I would like to give to you young girls out there as a message, Uti. Let that be your Bible. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And who do I want to be remembered as? And use that as a driving factor in becoming the person that you want to be.
Oh yeah!
I'm out.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the wrap up. As Shining Armor said, this is the show. This is where we get wrapped up with our guests. And today, getting wrapped up no Sindy. I hope some of y'all, my phone y'all wrote down some of the, Instagram, Facebook, and all of those,
Follow
with the signal, all those guys. But for you to watch next week, we might have someone else, or just as saucy, or, umuntu nje nizomthanda. But, the wrap up is here. And we are going to do things in a big way. I hope you all enjoyed the show today. And next episode, hey, Guzo, Nyazi. Peace.